Hi guys, since I couldn't find any videos on the topic, I decided to share with you what I know, what I've tried and what I've found on the internet. And of course, big shout out to Reddit and Backpacking Light forums. I'll put the links in the video description because they deserve all the credit, and all the guys who came up with the idea, they did all the math, and there's a lot of information on those forums if you're interested in other options. Gas stoves, very popular because they're convenient, they're fairly light, easy to use. They do come with one little issue, especially in the ultralight world. So this is a stove, it's one of the lightest stove, if not the lightest stove, weighs 25 grams, but we need to attach it to a fuel container, and you can buy a big one. If you want to go stationary, you can buy a smaller one if you need to backpack it, but even the smallest available canister, when full, is almost 10 times the weight of the stove. Another problem is that this is a disposable sealed unit, so first of all, it's hard to tell how much gas we got left inside, but also we have to make a decision. Do we take a big container with us, or is the smaller going to be enough? What if it's half full and we don't want to risk it? Then we have to take two of those, and we're carrying a lot of spare weight. As small and convenient that those canisters are, they're not that efficient because half of the weight of this container is the container. So you got 100 grams of gas and 100 grams of metal that you're carrying around for no reason, right? One of the solutions that people come up with, you can actually top up or refill those smaller canisters from a bigger container, and you need to purchase a small transfer valve like this one, right? It's a very simple device. You just use this to connect both canisters, and when they're nice and tight, you just open the valve and you transfer the liquid into the bottom container, right? You just have to do it in bursts, like a few seconds. And every now and then you have to use kitchen scales. There you go, to find out how much you've got. I know the container is 100 grams, so I can calculate that this canister has 49 grams of fuel left in it, right? So I keep adding until I reach 210 grams. So 100 grams of metal, 110 grams of fuel, right? And this way we don't have to worry about carrying a half empty can and taking a spare one just in case. We get to decide how much fuel we have in the can. And for a standard camping meal, right, you need about 2 cups, like 350, 400 milliliters of water, which this canister can give us between 10, 14 boils, which is not that bad. But what if we don't need that many? What if we go in just for a weekend, for 3 days, for a fishing trip, and we don't need to carry all this fuel, all this metal with us? So we have a big container, we have a smaller container, but this one's still too big and too heavy. Turns out some people realized there are even smaller containers with this type of valve in the shape of an air horn. There are different types. The main thing you need to look for is a threaded connector, because some horns I've seen, it's a press fit just like the deodorant. No, you need the Lindell valve, which is threaded. It's exactly the same, right? So this container on its own weighs 100 grams, where air horn container weighs 20 grams. I believe it's actually a little lighter because I already have some gas in it. So we're already saving 80 grams just in metal. And of course, this can't carry that much gas. I believe the safe amount is like 28 grams because you also need about 20% of space left for the liquid gas to gasify. But 28 grams of fuel, it's about 3 or 4 boils. So we can have 3 or 4 meals from a very compact setup, right? And I'll show you how to do it. So that's how it comes in a package, right? So first of all, we have to empty it, and of course you can blast it, right? Make a lot of noise. But if you unscrew the back of it, it won't make any noise. So we just empty it, right? Make sure it's empty, and we can dispose of the actual horn bit, right? Because that's the bit we need. Now, there's probably still a little bit of residual gas inside, so we can actually use our valve and we can top it up a little bit, vent, top up and vent. I've already done this a few times. I'm going to show you in the video. So I am ready to make my pocket stove, right? First you need to empty the air horn, and of course if you don't want to make the noise, just unscrew the back. That way it doesn't make a noise. It's much quicker if you turn it upside down. Just don't, because then you expel all the liquid. Just don't get any frostbite. There you go. So can is empty. Now, there's probably a little bit of air or whatever gas was in your air horn left in the can, so we need to purge that. So what I did, I've filled it up a little bit with butane, and I'm going to vent it. There we go. And I'm going to do that maybe 2 more times. Like I said, just a little bit, just to fill the can with propane butane, and then I'm going to vent it to empty just to make sure there's nothing extra in the can. So the container is 20 grams. I'm going to put another 28. So the whole setup should weigh 48 grams. Now we need to make sure this valve is shut, and we need to screw it tight. Now I'm going to shut up because you should be able to hear a gentle hiss. And stop. And I'm going to unscrew the bottom one. I can already feel a little bit of liquid gas sloshing inside. Let's see. 23. We've added 3 grams of gas, so we can be a little bit more brave. There we go. Screw on. Okay. Let's see how we got on. Oh yeah, let's get a little heavier. 31. We already have 11 grams of gas inside. Okay. Let's keep going. Oh. Okay. Can you hear it? It does help to put the bottom container in the freezer a little bit, because we need a bit of a difference of pressures. So if you're feeling this one, refilling this one or this one, it's good to put it in the freezer. Makes it easier for the gas to migrate. 38. So we've got 18 grams of gas. There we go. Okay, I'll stop at that because I want to test it. I'm going to pair it with BRS 3000, which is the lightest titanium stove on the market. All right. And just newly released Tox 450 ultralight. So this one's 48 grams. That's 25 grams and 20 grams for the container. So the whole setup should be around 110 grams. For stability, because you can improvise with rocks, with tent pegs, but there are files for a 3 printed base, which is like 5 grams, to make it more stable. This base is designed for another ultralight mag, Avenue 400, so I'm probably going to adjust it so it fits in my cup, or I'll just carry it like that, right? But we'll see, So now, let's see how this works together. There we go. Make sure it's shut. There we go. It works. So there you go. And there we go, the whole setup. Ultralight cup, full container of gas, our ultralight stove, and maybe base. I'm gonna make it smaller. So the whole setup is lighter than an empty gas can. Perfect pocket stove for a couple of boils, a couple of meals on the go. Hope that helps. And of course, you know, if you don't do it right, it might be dangerous. You're dealing with a compressed gas, but I'm not the first guy to do it, and it is, at the end of the day, a metal container designed for gas, and it works. Hope it helps.